Steroids and performance-enhancing drugs have been a controversial topic in baseball over the past couple decades. The rise of the steroid era brought attention to the major drug problem professional baseball was facing. Records that have stood for years were broken by many players who would later admit to using performance-enhancing drugs. The era and its subsequent drug use brought a dark cloud over the professional baseball, and the MLB adopted a new drug policy to prevent the use of steroids and other drugs. Drug abuse is a common problem not only facing baseball, but sports as a whole. In fact, in all sports, there have been dismissals of players due to their abuse of drugs and other substances, which are used to make the players more energetic, thus making them have the upper hand over their competitors. Though athletes' use of steroids was already banned by federal law, MLB's labor agreement only allowed drug testing if officials had strong evidence that a player was dirty. But finally, in August 2002, Selig and the Players Union worked out a deal to create the Joint Drug Prevention and Treatment Program, according to Star's article, A Major League Mess. In the following 2003 season, players that arrived for spring training were subjected to survey testing to determine the extent of the illicit drug use. Violators were not punished, however, the results were disturbing. 5 to 7% of 1,438 tests were positive. In Rosenthal's article, No More Delays on Drug Testing, it explains how the players are forbidden from processing, using, selling, and aiding in the sale and distribution of steroids or any other illegal drug. The testing is usually administered through the use of a scientifically validated test of urine. The players are randomly picked and a test is performed by the MLB staff. The Commission's office has the right to perform additional tests for steroids at any time and without notifying the players. If the MLB really wanted to eliminate performance-enhancing drugs from baseball, they would test every player instead of just choosing them at random. For the players who tested positive for use or dealing with the other prohibited drugs and substances, the first offense carries a suspension of 15 to 30 days or a fine of $10,000. The second time the offense is committed, it attracts a suspension of 30 to 90 days or a fine of $50,000. The third time a player tests positive, he can be suspended for 1 whole year or fined $1,000. While the fifth time the player is suspended for 2 years without the option of a fine, and any more offenses committed, the progressive discipline concept is applied consistently. This is completely unethical, as drugs should not be tolerated at all, not even in baseball. It is immoral to deal with players so leniently on such serious offenses, according to the Rosenthal's article. The Future of Sport, Catching Drug Cheats article by Jay Robertson says that sports has evaluated into a finely tuned business. They are no longer simply organized athletics. Across many codes of sports, not just baseball, whether athletes or teams are taking performance-enhancing drugs to help make them stronger or using them to help heal faster, modern-day professional sports have become more of a science than we know. Drugs have become an integral part of it. The mantra of win at all costs trumps fair play. Drug testing all baseball players is not only important in maintaining a level playing field, but also the long-term health and safety of its players. The Major League Player Records Dishonored article says that the Hall of Fame has made it a point to keep steroid users out of it. Players such as Early Wynn, Ted Williams, and Henry Aaron will forever be known for their world-breaking records during their career. Their achievements and records are legitimate and should always be held in high regards. However, the same cannot be said for players like Barry Bonds Roger Clemens, and Mark McGwire that put up huge stats, but the MLB tends to not even recognize these tainted numbers. Through their drive to remain competitive at a high level, they in fact spit on the record book, and in the process made the careers of many of their predecessors look less imposing. Human vulnerability often leads to wrong decisions. Players invite trouble through envy and egotism, or the simple belief that they as athletes not only can use questionable means to defy the aging process, but that they also deserve certain entitlements. In Skeep's article, Baseball Owners and Players Come to an Agreement, says that many of the players who were not using illegal drugs felt as if they were all being cast under a negative light. Tony Clark said that there are too many great players, past and present, who deserve to be celebrated for their ability to play this game at a very high level. If a stricter drug policy brings that level of appreciation back, we felt as if it was worth pursuing. Baseball has recovered from the stain of the steroid era by implementing stricter penalties for drug use. The MLB has shown initiative to try and limit performance-enhancing drugs as best as it can. The MLB's image is a lot better today than it was 20 years ago, due to better policies and young talent throughout the league. Drug testing is necessary for maintaining the integrity of the game.